Welcome to the podcast. We're here. I'm Trey Scott,
I'm Chance Scott.
and we're here to talk about ECU's 2-1 start, 38-0 shutout against Coastal on the road. What a day! What a day to be a Pirate. Chance, what do you think about that shutout? Just a quick talk about it. You were there. You seen the vibes.
Man, it was fun. Teal Field's not what people make it out to be, and I will say shout out Pirate Nation, man. They traveled in the fourth quarter. There was nothing but purple and gold chants going on. So that was, to me, that was the best part of the whole trip.
Did you get any free concessions?
I did not. You had to download an app and have a ticket. So I did not get free concessions, but some of my friends were there, and they told me they abused the hot dogs and nachos.
Oh, man, that's so cool. So it was definitely like go get what you want
you just,
over and over and over?
You get 4 things per trip, unlimited trips. So you could just, if you wanted to get every hot dog they had, you could just take them over.
Shout out to Coastal. Shout out to Coastal. Game changer. All right, let's get back into it. First FBS road shutout since 2000 at Duke. That's big. That game was also 38-0. But not just there. Big shout out to the ECU alum baseball guys. What's been going on in the majors?
Yeah, man. Trey Savage, the next Pirate in the pros. He was drafted last year, and he got the call up pretty fast. He made his debut, Monday night, I believe it was, with the Blue Jays. He went 5 innings, 9 Ks, only 1 run allowed, and that was in the first inning. He got them jitters out, and, man, he was electric. He like the same guy ECU loved, and that guy's going to be a pretty special pitcher one day, man. The MLB outlets are already putting him in the same conversation as Justin Verlander, and
Wow.
that's some pretty good competition.
All right, here we go. Today's show, we got the Coastal recap. We got snap counts to talk to you about who played, how many plays did they play? Anybody play more than they usually have? We got the BYU preview. BYU is the number 26 team in the nation. Don't want to miss that. Also, we got the gambling corner. You want to make some money? We got you. All right, let's get and start with the Coastal recap. Hauser was great again, Chance. Honestly, everybody was great.
Yeah.
What did you get from this? Let's knock down the stats. What did you see?
Man, it was a fun game for everybody. And considering how slow ECU's offense came out in that first half, for Hauser to end up with just under 300 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and the first Pirate turnover comes in the 3rd game of the year on a ball Caton definitely wants back. He just didn't see the linebacker on the hitch route and hit the linebacker straight in the hand, so he's going to want that one back. But you go 3 games with 1 turnover, I think every coach in the country would take that stat.
I agree.
Player of the game, Anthony Smith goes off for a career night.
Big dog.
11 catches, almost 140 yards. I mean, they were abusing whatever corner was on him. They would just come back route, and Anthony would just get it for 9, 10 yards. It felt like a play. It was just unguardable. They couldn't stop him, and he had one. I thought he was going to get in for his first touchdown of the year, and he was down on the 1-yard line. But just what a game. And then the guy who's been kind of quiet, as you thought might take over Anthony Smith's wide receiver 1 status, and Yannick Smith, he goes for only 4 catches, 25 yards, but the biggest one's 2 touchdowns. He got the first one got the Pirates started on a little slant route. It's just pitch and catch for him and Hauser, and the second one was a really beautiful route. He runs to the outside by the pylon, and just Caton throws an unbelievable ball, hits him right in the face mask, and those 2 guys have a connection that is going to be super scary for the rest of the year.
Right now we got Ant Smith at 23 receptions, 241 yards, no touchdowns yet.
Yep.
3 games. Is this for sure the 1,000-yard season?
Man, before the year I would have said no because there's so many weapons, but that guy, he can take any ball you throw him and turn it into a 20, 25-yard gain. So I'm going 1K. It just feels
how
like
many games are in the season?
They got 12 if you include just regular season, 13 bowl, 14 conference championship.
They will have to be successful as a team for him to get 1K, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
and I don't see this happening, but if they have a bad season and they don't make the bowl and they don't get the conference championship game, which we don't see that happening.
Yeah.
I think he's right there at the borderline of it.
It's going to be really close, and it all depends on teams at some point got to start game planning for him.
Yeah, right.
I think there's too many weapons. I don't think you can game plan for everybody. So somebody on this team's going to go off every single week. We've seen it with Brock Spalding early, and now teams game plan him, and look what Anthony comes out and done. So it's a fun offense.
I'm going 1K for Anthony no matter what the season is. I see him getting it. All right, I didn't mean to cut you off, but we always love to talk about some Anthony Smith. Keep going.
Man, the running game, it didn't start out great. It hasn't started out great all year, but it done what it's supposed to do in the second half. They wore down the Coastal defense. They had to worry about the passing game killing them. And boom, London starts hitting 5 yards runs. Jenkins comes in and starts hitting some big runs. Mike Wright gets in after the game's kind of out of reach for Coastal, gets him a touchdown, and that's the athleticism we talked about in the offseason, and that man can move. And to me, one of the most fun backs of the night was TJ Engelman. He's a really shifty back. He's more of a one cut and go back. He's not gonna run through nobody's face. He's gonna make the first linebacker miss and hope to get to that third level. And then Eddie Lacy, man, he has some pretty fun runs, and he ended up getting hurt. He was in a knee brace after the game. I never seen exactly where he got hurt, but Coach Harrell said they were going to do some X-rays and MRIs this week to kind of see how much damage was done.
Let's talk about that shutout on the defensive side. You know, they were dominant. Yeah. You hold a team to 0 points. I don't care if FCF, Power 5, I don't care who it is. It's hard to do in college football now.
Yeah, there was a stat I seen on Twitter last night. In the last 9 quarters, ECU's gave up 3 points.
Wow.
That's 9 quarters, no touchdowns.
I would have bet against it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have put my life savings on the line. They give up a touchdown in 9 quarters, but they had 6 sacks. This was the best pass rush I have seen ECU in the last couple years. Like, they were unreal. J.D. Lampley got moved to the inside, played more on the nose tackle instead of outside by the right tackle, and he was just a dominant force. Jamar Robinson, he was a true freshman getting his first start. He looks amazing. And then you force 5 turnovers. They were just – everybody was everywhere, man. You could talk about the defense all night.
Gotcha. Let's move on. The snap count breakdown. What was normal? What stood out? What did you see?
Yeah, I mean, the quarterback's one that's always Caden Hauser's going to get the most, knock on wood, unless something crazy happens, and that does not need to happen. But Mike Wright was able to get in there, run the offense for a little bit, and again, it looks like a different offense when Mike Wright's in the game. It's not the same normal up-tempo, throw the ball, vertical shots. It's a speed option, try to make them tackle, and they can't. He got him a touchdown, which was fun to see. And then Raheem Jeter, a guy that didn't play in the Campbell game, that we felt like the fourth quarterback kind of passed him, and he comes in, he gets his reps this time. So I think that's a big quarterback battle for that QB3 spot.
Okay.
Him and Chasson-Dita are kind of going at it. I think if Chasson-Dita, if they weren't trying to save his red shirt, he probably would be getting in there. But that's a good battle to have. You love having a situation where you can get your quarterback 3 in the game, getting reps. So that's always fun to see. Their running backs. There's a funny stat at the end that we'll talk about, but Jenkins, he had the most snaps with 37. Montgomery had 30. Eddie Lacy got 10. We talked about TJ Engelman, he got 9. But to me, the craziest one, Marlon Gunn got 1 snap, and that was on a 4th and 1. They try to go, their big power set, and they get stuffed, and that's the last time we've seen Gunn. And Coach Harrell talked about it, that Marlon's still in the offense. He's going to have his turn, but this week it was just Jenkins and Montgomery fit their play style. It's a little worrisome to me that a guy that we thought was a 3-headed stable is kind of getting 1 touch a game. But, we'll see. They're still going to need Gunn, and probably this week against a bigger offensive line, they're going to need a guy that can run through somebody's face, and he's going to be useful at some point in the year. So I'm still high on Marlon Gunn still being a productive piece of this offense. And then wide receivers, you talk about the Smiths. Anthony Smith, Yannick Smith, 70 snaps each. That's a lot of workload. Brock Spalding getting 30. Peyton Mangrum had a big catch on 3rd down. He had 22 snaps. And Jaquez Petaway, he's still just not the guy that we thought he would be. He got 16 snaps this week, and the snap count kind of keeps going lower and lower, and Peyton Mangrum and these other guys are kind of coming up and taking his reps. The tight end room, Javante Connor, he's been the most electric tight end in that room since Shane Calhoun, who was at Texas A&M last year. Riles got 38, and they're still getting Mason Brown, a guy that was a walk-on. He's getting 19 snaps a game. So
wow.
That's fun to see. He's a bigger tight end. He's landing some really good blocks in the run game. And the offensive line, they started out in the same 5 starters, which still was a little weird to me. But Kyle Long only got 48 snaps at guard. And I have it highlighted in red for us. Trinaski got 13 snaps, and then he got yanked out of the game. And Bryce Weaver played the rest of the game with 65. Askew replaced Long again in the second half. To me, at this point, the best five is including Weaver and Askew.
Yeah.
I know they want Kyle Long to be the guy just because of who he was at Maryland, and they want Trinaski to be the guy. He's a D2 All-American. But if your best five is coming off the bench in the second half, and we've looked better in the second half in every game, at some point you kind of just got to go with it. You got to put your best five out there and just and just play the game. You can't just because you want a guy to be the guy doesn't mean he always is. Then the defense, just what a performance by all of these guys. Defensive line, J.D. Lampley had 40, Robinson 38. Zion Williamson played a huge role at nose tackle along with Preston Carr. And Ron Rosenberg, the Greenville native, still getting in there and making a lot of plays with 21 snaps. The linebackers, man, just, some of these guys are more stand-up rushers like Raheem Craig. But Sam Danka, he flies around everywhere. He's just an athletic freak. Day Wilson, just a huge linebacker. Man, he makes every tackle. Johnson's the same way. Both those guys, if you get in their arm's reach, you're probably coming down. And then to me, the DB room, Tymeer Brown had the biggest game of his career, and we got to talk to him on Monday, and you could just feel the level of his confidence that he knows he's getting better. He's becoming the guy. Rashid Reason, a guy that usually is their number one corner, he went through a funeral this week, so he didn't play in the first half, which is why his numbers look that way. Jordy Lowry, 17 snaps. Jonathan Jean, 24. KJ Merrill with 26. Jean and Merrill are both in the nickel, so that spot's still a playing game. They're still battling to see who the best guy is. Then the safeties room, man. Jamarly Riddle got his first pick after getting hurt. We were texting when he got hurt. We're like, man, just not him. He flies around, makes every play. He comes back in 2 plays later and gets an interception. Then Aiden Duncanson, another UNC transfer. He's getting in the game more. Early in the year, we wanted to see some more guys get reps back there to get Riddle and Wilk off their feet. And he's played a huge role. Getting 20 snaps a game has been massive for those guys to get them some rest. And just my notes that, we kind of hit on all of them. Weaver out-snapped Trinaski at right tackle again. Marlon Gunn only with 1 snap. Tymeer Brown led all DBs with 16 snaps, and he graded the best on PFF. And it was a heavy 12 personnel for them Saturday with Connor and Riles both getting in there. That's fun to see. I love seeing 12 personnel with 2 tight ends. You can run so many different sets out of it. And then Rashid Reason, he sealed the game with the shutout with a late interception, and you could just feel the buzz after that pick. It was weird being on the road and not in Dowdy with that feeling. It was special.
All right, and now we move on to this week's matchup on Saturday. BYU, ECU leads the series 2-1, and they're 1-0 at home in the series.
Yep.
Coach Harrell has something to say about the guys this week. Let's see what he said.
Packed out in Dowdy-Ficklin this Saturday night, 7:30. And we talk about playing big games and meaningful games, and we certainly got one this week, a Big 12 opponent, P4 opponent, and ESPN2, national TV, and what that means to not only our football program, not only our university, but all of Eastern North Carolina and Greenville. So it's going to be a big night for that. And our energy as a football team starts with our fans and especially our students. They did a great job with that last home game. And I expect no less this home game of packing that thing out and making a difference in there. So it'll be a great night of football, and starts with the Pirate Walk. I'd like to invite everybody out to that. I think it's around 5:15, 5:20. We'll start out here just outside the stadium and kind of finish through that new green space we talked about where Scales Fieldhouse used to be, and get the big TV set up in there. So it should be a great way to start off the evening for a great night of football. But
what do you see when you see this team?
Yeah, man, they have a freshman quarterback, which can help ECU. He's going on his first road start in a place that should be sold out. There's like 2,000 tickets left, so that place is going to be rocking. He's going to be under the lights on national TV, playing his first real big game. They've blown out their last 2 games. How does he handle a close game? If you keep it a close game, how does he handle the fans not being on his side this time? But they're more of a run-first offense. L.J. Martin's a really good back. He's probably the best back in the Big 12 when you look at their numbers. And they love 11 and 12 personnel. Teams that run the ball like having 2 tight ends out there that can make a block and can catch the ball. But, man, to me, what makes them so good is their defense. They're nation's number 1 ranked defense in 2 games. They're allowing just 106 yards per game, 2-point yards per play, just 14 rushing yards allowed total this year, which when you look at ECU's running game, that's not a good stat to see, but I think it opens up a lot for Caden Hauser and company. And then they love 3-down and 4-down looks with a lot of different pressures coming off the edge with different DBs, different linebackers giving different looks. So it should be a fun little look for the ECU offense. They kind of abused Coastal's 3-down look last game, but the BYU's going to be a lot bigger, a lot older up front. So to me, the two biggest key matchups is going to be, every week you can say this, but this week is the most important. ECU's O-line versus BYU's front seven. Look, it's no secret. ECU's O-line's kind of been getting bullied by the bigger schools. State had their way with them early. They adjusted. They came out looked good in the second half. But early in that game, man, they were getting blown off the ball. They didn't look prepared. They looked better in the last two. But to me, this is the biggest matchup. And then the second one's Caden Hauser and wide receivers just versus that BYU secondary. For ECU to win, they're going to have some big plays. We know about our big weapons, but how does Caden step up in a really big game at home? How do the wide receivers step up and not do nothing? Don't drop a big play. Do what you're supposed to do, catch the ball, get upfield, don't fumble. It's going to be a fun one, man.
Hey, man, this is a team that won 11 ball games last year. So there's no doubt the respect is there, but also the quarterback change is there as well.
Yep.
Last year they hung their hat on their quarterback. To me, that's the proven point I need to see. Seen it in the first two games. We don't know how good Stanford is. They're 0-2.
They're not great.
Portland State, we don't know how good they are. Obviously, we don't think they're good. And obviously, that doesn't mean that BYU's weak because you got to play who's in front of you and you do it, how you do it. But we don't know what exactly the ceiling is for this team. Yeah. Are they an 11-win team like last year? We know they got the returning running back. They got a couple wide receivers, but man, I like the Pirates.
Yeah,
I like the way the Pirates are looking. I don't see nothing explosive on that roster on their stats so far to say, okay, the Pirates can't hang with this guy. And they're going into Dowdy. Dowdy's going to be 2-1.
Yeah.
It's bad news for BYU. But.
Yeah. I don't know if they're particularly excited to play ECU right now. Just ECU's coming off that big win. They hung with State, which we thought they could have beat State. They come out, they look better. I'm fired up, man. It's going to be your first game covering with me and Dowdy. Just how excited are you to kind of get up there and be in that atmosphere?
Oh, no doubt. I'm definitely excited. I'm excited because of the situation. It's like I said, they're 2-1 going into Dowdy against, might as well say, a top 25 team. Yeah. It don't get no better than that.
It don't.
Pirate Nation always shows up. It's going to be lit. It's going to be a lot of very, very liquid and Kurdish students.
There's going to
be fun.
Yeah,
man.
they're going to need to pass out some waters, I'm sure.
And speaking on the NC State, NC State's they've been taking care of business.
Yeah,
3-0, that's a good. None of the losses are good, but it's a win that they should have had. And who really knows how good this ECU team is right now?
You look at State; they're getting top 25 AP votes too. So I mean, you're talking about a team that possibly, if they beat Duke this weekend, they're definitely in the top 25. I mean, if State wins that game, they're 4-0. If ECU wins this game, they're 3-1. Where does ECU vote start coming along? So it could be a pretty fun week if ECU wins this game.
But they have to win.
They have to win.
And for them to win, what are chances, keys to the victory?
Yeah, man. My first one is they got to force Bear Bachmeier to his second and third reads. Look, every good quarterback can abuse their first read on teams they're supposed to beat. And credit BYU. They've done what they're supposed to do. They win the games they're supposed to win. They get the ball out quick. They run the ball. That's what they do. So you got to force Bear to start throwing the quarterback. Be a quarterback. You can't be a one-read quarterback going on the road. Second one, they got to play a clean football game. They can't have no stupid flags like they had in the State game. That kind of killed them early. And you don't want to give BYU any more chances than what they give. You get off the field on third down, no roughing the passer, no terrible pass interferences. Break the ball up, get to the sideline, no excessive celebrations because the emotions are going to be high. You got to play a clean game. And the last one, Pirate Nation has to be loud. Yes. You've got to make this place one of the toughest places to play. And when it's sold out and when it's jumping, it is one of the toughest Group of 5 stadiums in the country. So I'm super excited. I think Pirate Nation's fired up. There was 4,000 or 5,000 on the road at Coastal last week. They were just as loud as Coastal was. This is a big game.
Let's make some money.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We got the gambling corner right now. Here we are. Last week, we got you guys paid. All you had to do was watch the show, man. We told you the Pirate spread is money in the bank, and they covered it by 31 points.
Yeah.
31 points. They covered it. So now, we went 2-1 last week. ECU covered. Georgia covered. USF got blown out. Oh, well.
Yeah.
But, hey, 2 out of 1 is the odds you want. This week, what do we have, Chance?
Man, look, ECU, I seen a stat on Twitter last night. They're a top 5 team in covering the spread. And you're giving me a touchdown at home. I got it at 7.5 when the line first dropped. It's down to 6.5. That's still too many points for me. I'm all over the spread. And I'm all over the money line.
Money line.
Yeah,
Give me the line.
I mean, I like the juice. Plus 200 at home.
Wow.
Electric offense. Defense has been balling. I'm fired up, man.
Get paid.
Yeah, I'm fired up.
Get paid. Give me 2 more. Hurry up.
NC State, Duke. State's plus 3.5. I like the money line as well, but I'm taking 3 points against Duke. I'm not a believer in the Blue Devils.
Last one.
Tulane, Ole Miss, man. Tulane has been the most fun team to watch. That's not ECU in this conference. They're electric. Their quarterback just came from BYU. I think he's coming for blood at Ole Miss. I think they cover 11.
And that's it, guys. I'm Trey Scott.
I'm Chance Scott.
We'll see you next week.